there's just a thought that I want to put in people's heads, which is that if you died for whatever reason, body is just flesh, it dies, and then your soul was to come back in another life. Do you think it's weird how there's so many different people here? That do you think the more people there are, the more chance that you'll have like a shitty life? Like when I first woke up to the belief that I was Christ and that everything that I believed was true, such as reincarnation, I did go through this whole episode where I was kind of freaked out and denying the fact that this was the truth. And then I kept going back into the whole swing of like this kept coming into my head. You know, if I'm not Christ, if I'm just a normal person, then what was my past life? If I think about the people that lived in the past, the slavery, the abuse, the just every shit that has happened in the past. You look through a history book and you'll see, the thought that I could have been one of those people was shit scary. I was trying to deny during, so I woke up June 13th, I think it was. But I put myself to sleep because like this is crazy. I had like a 3-day revelation, and I was like, no, this is not happening. This is not going to happen. And then there was a month wait, and then it was sometime during July. There was like a slow wake up, and yeah, I was, on one hand believing it, but every time I'd go into the mind that didn't believe it, I kept being like freaked out at the possibility that I would have been alive in the Victorian ages. And, what was I, scullery maid? Was I one of those children that get beaten up by their parents? Or, if you think about all the terrible things that have happened, the possibility that I could have been one of them is awful. But then on the other hand, there was this other thought that kept coming into me. If I'm not Christ and I'm just a normal person, then what's my next life going to be? Everyone must be thinking about this right now. If you now believe in reincarnation, you should, good. But does it not bother you the fact that there are so many people in this world and the variety is so massive? Like you've got smart ones, you've got nice ones, you've got cruel and corrupt ones, and you've got poor ones who can't afford to eat. You've got starving ones. You've got and I feel like if you think about all the people in the world, or just one person, a variety of different people, and you think, would you want to be that person's mother? You know, I mean, no, not mother. Would you want to be the person's child? Say, think of anyone, and do it with lots of different people, and think, would you want to be that person's child? Going the wrong way. Would you want to be that person's child or mother? You could say, you could do it both ways actually. But yeah, I feel like you can get a better sense of what someone's like if you ask yourself that question. You know, would I want to be a starving person in Africa? 100% no. 100% no. And if them not being a starving person, feeding them, giving them funding, giving them everything they want is not actually the option because it's not realistic because of, there's only so many resources that we have. They can't all be rich because then the rich people won't be rich. And I suppose it'll be good to have everyone on the same level, but people don't think the same way. People think differently. People have a contradiction and they have different attitudes and nasty attitudes. And it's not just, if everyone had the same amount, the people who wanted to just go around killing people, they would use what they have to still kill people. Or the people that just want to create trolls and hurt and put people down, if they had the same amount of money, they would still do that. Just there'll be no one being able to control them or to stop them or to say, actually, I have everything that I need and I'm happy and you're, it's different. It's too complicated to actually think about it right now. But would you, like, I think if someone's good or not because you can look at them and think, would you be happy if they were your child, or would you be happy if you were if you were born by them, if you were born into their family and know them? And my mum is mad and her brain's kind of all over the place, and I've had a horrible life. I know she does her best. I believe she's doing her best. I don't think she's very smart. I don't think she's self-aware at all. Um, and I just, yeah, I feel like because I've had her as a mum, I can look at loads and loads of people in the world and think, I would rather you be my mum than her. And I've said that to myself. But in reality, I don't think that's actually the truth. I think in reality, I like to just, she's not great, but there are loads of times where, huge amounts of times where I've come across people and been like, I'm glad you're not my mom. Like my mom's bad, really bad, but she's not. She does her best. I don't think it's that good, but she's trying, and I don't think she's had a human life before, and I think that is very very impressive. To I don't believe my mom's been human ever before, and to not to be human for the first time, and to not and to be how she is. Okay, she's not great. She's not intelligent. She's sometimes getting things, sometimes not. But I feel like she's come a long way. I feel like there are people who have had loads of lives, and they are in no way to the standard that she is. They just use what the knowledge that they have for corruption and for negative things. And okay, my mom's not perfect, but I think she's doing really well for someone who's had one life. And so, you know, um, but yeah, when it comes to creating the world that you want, I think the best way to do it is to think, would you want that to be your mother? Would you want that to be your child? Um, would you want your child to be starving in Africa? No, of course not. Um, would you want your child to be a sex trafficker or something like that, and just take pleasure from people's misery? No, of course not. What would you want your child to be, or what would you want your parents to be? I think the mother is usually usually you respect your parents, and you see your parents as being above you. So, you know, just a thought.